That's not just the sound of that first sip of Morning Joe. It's the sound of someone shopping for a car on Carvana from the comfort of home.
That's a good blend.
It's time to take it easy, like answering some easy questions to get pre-qualified for a car in minutes.
Talk about starting the morning right.
Just like customizing your terms so your car fits your budget. Visit Carvana.com or download the app to experience car shopping the way it should be. Convenient, comfortable. That's not just the sound of that first sip of Morning Joe. It's the sound of someone shopping for a car on Carvana from the comfort of home.
That's a good blend.
It's time to take it easy, like answering some easy questions to get pre-qualified for a car in minutes.
Talk about starting the morning right.
Just like customizing your terms so your car fits your budget. Visit Carvana.com or download the app to experience car shopping the way it should be. Convenient, comfortable.
Welcome to Cosmic Channels. Open minds on cosmic lines. To call in to future episodes, the number is 1-833-703-0424. The show is recorded live the second and fourth Sunday of every month. Please subscribe to Alien Theorist Theorizing on YouTube to watch it live, or patreon.com/Alien Theorists Podcast to watch on demand. The cosmic channels are open.
I'm Braden.
I'm Dan. And I'm Andrew.
And we are the Cosmic Channelers. Taking all calls. 1-833-703-0424. We want all your stories of weird cryptids, UFOs, aliens, ghosts, paranormal. Everything and anything.
Everything and anything.
As long as you were awake when it happened.
Those of you new to the show, we're going to say hello. You're going to tell us who you are, where you're from. We're going to get rolling here with our first caller.
Yeah.
Fuck you, call us. Hello, Cosmic Channels.
Fuck you, I called.
Hey.
Name guy knows how to follow instructions.
He knows what's up.
Yes, very good. It's Henry from Northern California.
Henry's back on the show.
Henry.
Hi there. I think my sister called in last time. She beat me to the line, and she was definitely sauced up.
She was
and
beaking you.
It also seemed like a lot of people were sauced up last time.
We might have a couple wobbly pops there.
Hey. Yeah, it's, you know what? It comes with the territory of Cosmic Channels, so.
Not a big deal.
We take no fault. Yeah.
All right, I've got a great story. So I was sleeping and I had this dream. I'm kidding. I'm
kidding. Honestly, people making that joke don't understand how close Zell is. His finger at all times is hovering on the hang up button. One time, someone's just going to get disconnected.
Deleted. So my story is, my sister kind of touched on it last time, but she was sauced up and didn't actually know the story. So I'll tell it the way it actually went down. I was, I believe, like 12 years old.
Can you tell it faster than 25 minutes?
Yes. Oh my God. She just kept going. She was ragging on me and she kept going. I was like, Bella, shut up. Get off the line.
That was all good.
I love my sister. All right.
Yeah, we do too.
So I was having a friend over. I believe I was in 7th or 8th grade. So I was around, 12 years old. And he was sleeping on the ground in a sleeping bag, with a floor pad. And I was in my bed, and he was pretty much parallel to my bed, lengthwise too. So he was pretty close to my bed, on the ground just below me. And it was early morning, and we had started talking, but we both weren't completely, awake and getting up to do anything yet. And he's talking to me, and I'm looking down at him, and we're just, shooting the shit. And I shit you not, I probably closed my eyes for 2 or 3 seconds. You know, I might rub him or something. And when I open them up again, he is completely on the other side of the room, like still in his sleeping bag, like laying flat.
Teleported?
And I'm like, yeah. And I tell him, I'm like, Jose, how are you over there? And he's like, he opens his eyes because he was still, you know, kind of waking up too. He opens his eyes and he's like, what are you talking about? And he realizes he's on the opposite side of the fucking room. And there was no sound at all. Like his sleeping bag didn't ruffle at all. So like I totally would have heard him move across the room. And it was just like something had like straight up dragged him. And he said he didn't feel anything, but he had moved probably a good like 10 feet to the opposite corner of the room.
And he was still under
yeah, like he was still like he hadn't like changed position at all in his sleeping bag. He was like still motionless too. And he like opened his eyes and I opened my eyes and he looked at me and he's like, how did I get over here? And it really scared him because, you know, he's like a little Mexican kid and his family was very religious and Catholic. And, you know, he got scared so bad from that, like he almost started crying. And that was one of the last times he stayed at my house because he got paranormally activated.
Yeah,
so yeah, that's my story.
I don't blame him.
I would have never talked to you again.
Absolutely. Sever all ties. How are we sure it's something demonic activity? Why isn't it could possibly be some kind of localized space-time distortion that he just kind of
scary too.
Which is
also
terrifying.
Well, he didn't hear any sound. He didn't get dragged over there, so he just like displaced is more. It sounds more like it, just like a quick little move over.
2 timelines merged, maybe. And during that merge, in another timeline, he was actually slept 10 feet away.
There's a light speed wormhole that just like shot through the earth, just like
glitch in the matrix.
Moved him.
That's wild. But no marks, like nothing, no physical marks or anything on a sleeping bag or him or.
Yeah. And I think it especially scared him because he knew that we've had weird stuff go on in that house before. So he kind of immediately chalked it up, and so did I too. That was not, you know, normal. That was something supernatural that happened, and he did not have a good time.
No, I couldn't see too many people having a good time.
He only has himself to blame. I mean, like he already knew about the weird stuff, and he decided to spend the night.
Very true.
Yeah.
Awesome, Henry. Well, thanks.
Right.
Thanks for calling back.
Thank you.
Talk to you later.
My pleasure. Have a good night, boys.
You too.
Yeah.
Bye.
Good night. Way to go, Henry. He wrapped that up nice quick.
6-minute story. Beautiful. Demonic ghost creature or time slip.
Demonic space-time
continuum
or
distortion.
Yeah, you know, because like even you could say like, you know,
I mean, that's how Nightcrawler works. When he teleports, he doesn't actually teleport. He teleports through the hell dimension and then moves through it and then moves through space and time.
It's dope. So, Nightcrawler grabbed is what you're saying.
Yeah.
I like it. All right, another caller. Hello, Cosmic Channels.
Hey, how's it going?
We're doing well, brother. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Is it okay if I use a fake name?
100%. Jason Bourne?
Awesome. I'm Willie Nelson.
Willie Nelson. All right, we got Willie Nelson coming.
Willie Nelson.
How stoned are you?
Super stoned, man.
Perfect.
I'm actually I didn't think I'd better get on, and I just was lighting a joint as we speak. Can I finish lighting it?
There we go.
All right, thank you. Hold on.
We encourage it.
All right, what do you got for us tonight, Willie Nelson? Nice.
Anyways, sorry. Yeah. So this all happened in January 2014. I'm traveling to a job I was working on. Sorry, damn.
That joint hit well.
Yeah.
This isn't the real Willie Nelson.
No, everything's slowing down. Anyways, it was outside of I was heading to Albany, Georgia to work on a project. So I'm outside of Montgomery. It's late at night, and this is a really weird story, by the way. I've told people this before.
Or you're at the right place, man.
Yeah, I listened to your guys' show, and I figured this was the right, place to call just to give you guys some really good story here.
100%.
This really happened though. But anyway, so I'm driving on the highway, and there's like this state patrol officer. He's like pulled over to this like abandoned gas station. Well, I don't know if you guys been, down south Alabama and stuff. There's a lot of like abandoned old gas stations on them highways and stuff.
Creepy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they look creepy.
I've seen horror movies.
Yeah.
It looks like something off Walking Dead. It really does. A lot of those gas stations do. Like, they're all boarded up and stuff. Well, anyway, so I pull in, and I'm not from there, and I'm just, driving, and there's like a storm coming in. And I asked him, I said, is this storm coming? I mean, is it going to hit here? So I need to get to Moses. He says, as long as you go back that way, you won't run into it. Because there's like really strong winds and stuff, but it wasn't anything severe because it was like in January, but it was still, I didn't want to mess with it. So I just kind of chilled there. It was already late. Asked him if it was okay. He said it was, and I didn't make a big deal. So I smoked a joint after he left, threw my keys in the floorboard, evidence is smoked up, I'm good to go, So I'm just laying there enjoying myself in my back seat, playing on my phone, and this is late. I mean, I couldn't sleep. I'm uncomfortable, and just kind of finally start to doze off. Well, anyways, this is where it gets really weird, and this is where it sounds retarded. Well, mind you, I'm high, like always, and I really can't put together certain situations when I wake up. Well, I woke up, and I look up, and there's like this car sitting there with the headlights on, and this guy steps out to pop the hood. Well, this guy didn't look right, man. He looked like a roided Simple Jack off Tropic Thunder.
Oh,
I'm serious. Yeah, well, here's the crazy part. He had a wife beater on, and he had an extra joint. He had an extra joint on his arm, man. It was the weirdest thing I ever seen. And
he had 2 elbows or something?
Yeah, but the other elbow was like one elbow. It had like the same, like you would have a normal, forearm and wrist and stuff. Well, up there, another elbow, and then like you would add another 8 to 6 inches and have another joint. And this dude's like, this is going to sound crazy, but he's going, ha, 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 the whole time. And he's lifting the hood, and then he like slams it. He gets in the car, and they sit there, and there's like a bunch of people, it looks like in there, like 3 or 4 people. And they just drive off, and I'm just sitting there like, what the fuck did I just see,
And hills of eyes shit, man. That's terrible.
It's wrong turn.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. It was freaky, man. It just it freaked me out. And after that, I didn't stick around too much longer after that. I kind of drove on. I kind of waited till they drove on a little bit further down the road before I started my truck and left. And I don't know if they seen me or what it was. They didn't pay no mind to me, but it was the freakiest thing I seen. I was no more than like I'm in a gas station parking lot, like off to the side of the road. Like, I don't know how they couldn't see me, but it was pretty cool. They just drove off and scared the shit out of me,
That's fucking terrifying.
Three-jointed man
stuff.
Yeah, and the thing that
it's
it was
laughing. It's the
Laughing
laughing
manically.
Yeah, the laughing. Yes, that's what I was about to say. The laughing is what I could hear it through my truck. It was so sarcastic. He wasn't acting normal, and it made me think it was like staged or something, because I got really paranoid. And as I was driving, I was like, "Dude, those cops probably staged something to freak me out or something," And
they knew you were smoking.
Who knows? But no, he didn't walk normal. He didn't act normal.
Just didn't seem right.
The whole situation was super psychotic and demented. And I just once I got out of there, I was driving, and I just tried to put it behind me. But man, it screwed with me for a little bit.
No doubt.
I didn't know what was. Yeah, it kind of messed with me a little bit. But that's my story on something. I don't know. It's the most paranormal, screwed up thing that's ever happened to me. And I don't know how to relate that to a lot of what you get called in there, but
no,
I've seen it. And
that's a terrifying story. Like that happened.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he was 7 foot tall, damn near it. I guarantee it.
Jesus. That's the plot of a horror movie, and you got out just in time, sounds like.
100%.
Well, you saw the beginning of a horror movie. You just weren't in it.
Yeah.
And I think honestly weed saved my life because I didn't want to investigate. I was too lazy. I was so scared. I just sat there and, covered up. And I'm not ashamed.
You know how many times weed saves people's lives and you don't hear about it? Situations like that, man.
Exactly.
You're too stoned. You can't be bothered. Saved your life.
Yes, for sure. Hey, last thing, shout out on, something I heard, about the superhuman that was like a part of history, that we kind of like all missed is like, Daniel Douglas Holmes. You guys heard of that dude?
I have not.
Daniel Douglas Holmes.
If you guys look him up, it'll blow your mind the stuff he could do. Like this guy, was completely skipped over in history for some reason. I don't know anything about him and stuff. But when I looked him up, I was like mind blown.
Daniel Douglas Holmes.
Yeah, Holmes.
Could levitate.
Yeah, but
1852 magician.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Psychic. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, cool.
But he had scientists studying him though. How do you? And he was defying everything, and I don't understand why no one made a big deal about it. Is he bullshit or is he not? And that's what I don't understand. Like, if you look into all the facts about it, I can't figure it out if it's bullshit or not.
Well, we'll write his name down.
We'll get Dan on it. Yeah. Dan will deep dive it.
I just figured that one would be a cool one. I'd love to get high and listen to that one.
Yeah, we'll put it on the list. We'll dig into it.
All right, guys. Cool. Well, Willie Nelson out. You guys have a good show.
All right. Cheers. Have a good night.
Cheers, man.
Bye.
Bye.
7 foot tall, doubled, elbowed, crazy looking dude just steps out, starts laughing hysterically.
It's terrifying.
Yeah. Uncle Slam said in the chat, you don't get an extra arm joints without having at least one brother, daddy, or sister cousin.
Absolutely.
No kidding. All right. Another caller. Hello, Cosmic Channels.
Hello.
Hello.
I can't believe I'm on here.
Welcome to the show. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi. My name is Tina Wall, and I am calling from Orem, Utah, but I'm from a place called Eureka, Utah.
Eureka. All right. Cool.
Yeah.
What do you got for us tonight?
So, I was calling about a possible skinwalker story. I'm not 100% sure because I was younger, but from what I remember, it kind of lines up. So
perfect.
Anyways, so it starts with me being in Eureka. I don't know if you guys know where Eureka's at. Probably not. It's like a little mining town. It's an old historic, people think it's haunted and everything. It's on the show Ghostfacers, I think. I can't remember. Ghost Adventurers, sorry.
Okay, yeah.
Not the supernatural one. Anyways, so I was about 12 years old, and I used to sit out on my deck, and our town is only a mile long, so you can kind of just see the whole entire town. And there's an Elks Lodge across from my house. It's just like this big building. And I was sitting there, and I saw an outline of a shadow. I didn't recognize it until I heard yelling, and I heard it yelling. It was in a deep male voice, and it was like, "Help me, please, somebody, please help me," screaming like they were in trouble. And I was pretty young, so I was scared and I didn't know what to do. So I just looked around trying to find the voice, and I looked down by the Elks Lodge, and there's an alley by the Elks Lodge, and I could see it looked like a man cut out, but a man shadow, but I'm not sure. It did, but I couldn't make it out very well, to be honest. It just looked like someone was standing there.
Right.
And I just got super, super, super
if they needed
scared.
help, why wouldn't they come more towards you, into the light? That's what I'm thinking right away.
No, that's the thing is, here's what it looked like.
Unless they wanted you to come into the alley.
So I'm sitting on my deck, and I can see the alley, and I can see the Elks Lodge, and he's on the left side of the Elks Lodge in this little alley by our little general store, and he's not moving. He's just standing there, and he's just standing straight, and I can hear like someone is in trouble, screaming, "Help me," screaming. And I was so surprised, and I was just sitting on the roof of my deck, and I ran downstairs to my mom, and I was like, "Mom, someone's yelling by the Elks Lodge, someone needs help, he needs help." And she opened the door and looked down there, and I can't fully remember if I saw the shadow or not, but I was pointing in the area. To be honest, I was just freaked out and young.
No kidding.
And she just said, get inside. We'll just lock the doors and just stay inside. Don't worry about it. Stay, just go to bed, basically. And she's lived in Eureka her whole life. It's like a small mining town in the mountains. And so I'm kind of convinced it was a skinwalker just from the mimicking, but I'm not 100% sure. I just know that I was completely terrified.
And
so, that's kind of my story.
It didn't follow you back and bang on the doors or tap on the windows or anything, did it?
No, nothing. But I have heard, there's a couple other accounts of me hearing just, people screaming for help. And, I've driven around my town, and there's another instance that happened that I heard someone yelling, and I was driving around trying to find to see if anyone needed help or anything, and I couldn't find anybody. I've heard a lot of yelling up there, and I wouldn't be surprised because again, we live in an old mining town. It's like a bowl in the mountains, and it's tiny, so there's not much civilization. So I don't know. It was just a completely scary, crazy story that I've always remembered, and I can just remember the fear and everything. It was crazy to me. So
no kidding. It seemed like trying to lure you or something.
Yeah, it seemed like it was trying.
It's standing there
creepy for sure.
Yeah, it seemed like it was definitely trying to anyone that could hear it, it wanted it to come find it, if that makes sense. And I don't know. It was I don't know how I could describe it in a way that was as scary as it was in the moment. But
is there any unsolved missing person cases in your town or area?
I'm sure. I am so sure. Well, you guys, the last Cosmic Channels, you guys were talking about Dugway, and
yep.
So that's not around Eureka, but I've been to Dugway many times because our basketball team plays their basketball team, and our bus would have to go through all their stops and stuff.
Is their basketball team a bunch of mutant dinosaurs? Because we were talking about that. So
mutant dinosaurs.
Yeah, they're from Dugway Proving Grounds. A bunch of radioactive mutants.
Yeah, they had the
they
big
put in
cages.
The giant cages there. Something like that.
They weren't. They were definitely not. They. Never mind. I can't say that because that would be mean. But I'm just gonna say they were definitely not that. But I was thinking about Dugway, and you guys were talking about how it's kind of creepy out there. Well, have you guys heard of Susan Powell?
Yeah,
Susan Powell case?
The name sounds familiar.
So Susan Powell was a woman who went missing. No, she didn't go missing. She allegedly was killed by her husband, but they've never really proven it, and he killed the kids too. And people think that she's somewhere out around Dugway, or even no, it's she's just out there somewhere. And there's a bunch of missing people, and there's a bunch of people that are thought to be in mines and stuff, and it's kind of crazy out there. And
so there is some missing persons out there. So Skinwalker's prime suspect.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would not be surprised, to be honest. So
right,
I have some pretty crazy stories.
We'll make sure to call back and tell us another one if you have one or you experience another possible Skinwalker.
Okay, I definitely will. And I will try not to take up any more of you guys' time. I know you guys got a lot of people.
No, that was great. That was awesome. Thank you very much for the call.
It's amazing to talk to you. I wanted to say, you guys are awesome, and I listen to you all the time, every day. I'm a finished carpenter, so I have time to just listen to podcasts.
Oh, yeah, fellow carpenter. Awesome.
Oh, yeah.
That's what we do.
Oh, yeah, that's me.
What's your specialty?
Anyways. I do, I just do finished carpentry, so, the trim and stuff. My dad owns a carpentry business, and so I work for him.
Sounds pretty familiar.
That sounds very familiar. Yeah. Awesome. It's a great.
Yeah.
That's Zell's origin story.
It's a great trade. Not a lot of people doing it. There'll be work forever.
Yeah, that's kind of why I'm doing it. I wasn't originally going to do that. I went to school, and then I came back, and now I'm doing carpentry instead of using my degree. But that's another thing.
Hey,
so
it's a good skill to learn. You can always switch careers again later if you want.
That's kind of how I feel. I want to build some skills. So
build some skills. All right. Thanks for the call.
Thank you guys so much. Have a good day. Have a good night, I guess. Sorry.
Cheers.
Cheers. Bye.
Bye.
Someone sent us the pictures of those cages, like of those giant, like rig cages that you can
where
see
they
on,
keep their,
like,
their
Google
basketball
images.
team.
And I was like, I looked at those and I was like, those are weird. What the hell is that? Like, what is that out there? Some giant, just looks like a giant cage with lights up for fucking.
They're just
giant dinosaur cage.
Dinosaur basketball
radioactive dinosaurs.
It's the Crushathon.
Oh yeah, that's that will be the finale.
The Hell in the Cell.
Yep. All right, let's bring another caller on. Hello, Cosmic Channels.
Hey, how you doing, guys?
Yeah, we're doing pretty good, brother. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Oh yeah, my name is Andre. I'm out in Massachusetts, out in New England there.
Nice.
Other side of the continent.
A little bit of a journey.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, you guys are up there, like the BC, right? Isn't it?
Yep. Most of us stands in Virginia, but.
Hi. Oh yeah. Yeah, I got a pretty cool little story here. I mean, I don't know if y'all have been out this side in like U.S., but we got some pretty weird crap, like just weird history. You know, there's been a lot of just crazy like Indian wars way back, and just spooky, like, you know, a lot of spooky old colonial houses and like Victorian kind of stuff. But
oh yeah,
my story that I got tonight is it's about 2012. It was like we were camping, and I was up in this little mountain called Mount Warner. And I was with my ex-girlfriend. We were up there camping on this little spot I had. And you want me to get right into the story, or should I? You guys want to bullshit a little bit? I don't know what your protocol is usually.
Oh, get right into it. You've got us on the hook already. You had me camping. I'm
camping in the woods. We're already, we're ready.
What's going on?
Oh yeah. Nice. I'm just so yeah, we're up there. It was this weird spot. Now the backdrop of this area, it's like I've heard that, you know, it's a little mountain, and at one time it was kind of like the hub of this little local Indian village way back, you know, 1600s or so. There was supposedly like two camps, like on the south side there was like a winter camp, on the north side there was like a summer camp. So I'd heard, you know, and so I'm up there in this campsite, and you know, that's always like in the back of my mind. And we're up there camping late night, and you know, we're just chilling. It's just me and her. We got like a little tarp tent and shit, and like I start to see something out in the distance, like about. And this is weird because you know, you expect to see things in the sky, like weird lights, but I'm seeing this at like ground level, and it's like. At first, I thought it was like fireflies, but I'm like, yeah, that's odd. We're in like thick woods. Usually, you see fireflies in fields, stuff like that around here. And this is like pretty thick timber. It's like up a mountaintop where it kind of plateaus off. And we're seeing this like, it almost looked like fireflies going back and forth. I'm like, that's odd that they're up here. So I start to like just walk over. I'm like, oh, I want to check that out. That's weird. Looked like it was about maybe, I don't know, like 300 feet or so out into the wood, the brush there, and I'm like, wait a minute. I'm starting to see that these aren't like fireflies. They're not like just drifting around. They're not blinking either. Like, it almost looked like people standing there with little LED lights, and just like little pinpoint lights, but not putting off like a big beam or anything like that, like an actual LED light. It was like they were out there.
I guess single, yeah.
What's that?
Oh, I said like just a single like LED.
Yeah, like a really dim one, almost like not even the brightness of like a Christmas light, like just this little dim thing. But I could very visibly see them. They were distinct, and there was about like 7 or 8 of these things. They were all, and the way they were moving, I suddenly realized, I'm like, that's no firefly. These things were moving as if they were like some sort of like person or something, like holding it. And I'm like, fuck, this is like fucking kids, like trying to mess with us or something. I'm like either that or it's like somebody trying to rob us or like fucking like murder us or something. I'm like, what the hell is this? Like, so I'm like, I had my 22 rifle, and I'm just like, I'm looking out at these things. I grabbed the gun. I'm like, hey, I was like, who is that over there? No answer, nothing like that. So I'm like, fucking kids, like, Jesus Christ. So I'm like, hey, if there's somebody out there, if you don't tell me who you are, like, I was like, I'll start shooting at you guys. Like, just tell me who you are. I don't want any trouble or nothing. And like, I go, as soon as I say that, these things, like, I shit you not, like, and this is the thing, there, you know, it was at a distance where there's leaves, there's sticks, like, all over this forest floor. Like, if you're walking around in there, you're making some noise, unless you're like, you'd have to be literally hovering over the ground to not make noise. That's the only way. I mean, it's like thick. And so I'm standing there and I'm like, all right, well, there's somebody out there or something. Somebody's messing with us. As soon as I say, hey, just tell me who you are. Like, I don't want any trouble, but tell me who the hell you are, or I'm going to shoot. Like, I don't know what the hell it is out there. And like, suddenly, as soon as I say that, they all, like, simultaneously just go off. Almost like as if they were on, like, a single circuit or something. It wasn't like there was, like, oh, and they didn't turn and run. Like, they just kept kind of moving back and forth for a while in this weird kind of, like, just almost like bobbing pattern, but not like as if somebody was, like, holding it in their hand. It was like as if they were just kind of, like, floating at it. Weird. I don't even know. They were definitely on the ground. Whatever
like
it was like near ground level, but then
back and forth.
Yeah. And then they stopped. Like, it was as if they were shut off from, like, one switch. And then it was like they were there, and I'm trying to remember. This is a while back, but I think they all shut off, and then, like, they started to come back on again. I'm trying to remember if they came back on. I know that one detail I remember. They all shut off as if they were on, like, one switch. So I was like, we were just standing there, and I'm like, she's behind me. She's like, what the hell is that? Like, I'm just like, I don't know, but, like, we're discussing, like, should we leave? Like, should we stay? What the hell should we do? So we decided just to stay. I was like, I don't want to be walking through the woods, like, after that. It was just the weirdest thing. Like, I don't know.
How long was the walk into the...
Do you guys have any, like...
How long was the walk into the site, like, from your car to the site?
Oh, it was a long... This was a long walk in, because you had to park way down on the road. It was about, like, easily, like, a mile up this trail up to the hilltop, and it's like, you know, it's pretty thick woods. There's like a whole, like, logging trail that went up there, and it was like you there was no quick access. Like, you would have had to walk through some dark paths, and, you know, no road anywhere nearby. It was like a mile to the road.
Right, there was no easy exit. Like, you had to put in the effort to get out of there.
Yeah. So, like, the quickest way would have been to literally barrel down, like, this wooded hillside that was, like, almost like a 45-degree angle through, like, thick stuff. So you weren't, you know, that would have been, like, the quick way out, but you would have, like, gotten, like, all hacked up just trying to get through there. You would have paid the price
for it, for sure. Okay, so...
Yeah. And I did, like, you know...
In summary, so you and your girlfriend, you're camping, you see, like, a string of lights bobbing up. Like, what's the distance, guessing? It's hard to guess at nighttime, but, like, if you had to make a guess.
Like I was saying, I would say about, like, 300 feet, maybe less. Close, though. Like, close enough where I could tell there was something there. And right at ground level.
So
what color was
now
it?
that I'm thinking about
is it a specific color or change colors or anything?
Just like a dim white light. It was almost like an LED, like similar to, like, if an LED light is, like, the battery's, like, dying.
Right, like a...
Is it like a whitish, yellowish color,
like,
or...
Like, definitely, like, more like white, like almost like blue-white, kind of like a
like
colder
bluish.
white light, you know? Yeah.
Weird. They just turn off, no sound.
It made me think of that episode you guys had with Freddie Silva there, where he's talking about, like, you know, sometimes lights are seen growing across fields, and it's like...
The orbs.
I don't know if he mentioned it was like, yeah, like orbs, like walking or something like that. And that's why I keep thinking about it. It always, like, haunts me. I'm like, was that, like, some sort of apparition? Was it, like, aliens? I mean, I know there had been, like, Indian villages right near there.
Where was this again? You said it was Massachusetts?
Yeah, in Massachusetts, a little place called Mount Warner. It's, like, in the Connecticut River Valley, kind of like Western Mass.
And then so after it disappeared, the lights disappeared. There was just no other issues, no footprints, nothing in the woods after that. Just gone.
Yeah, nothing. Like no. That's the thing. Like I didn't hear like any noise after that. Nothing. There was no other evidence of it. I don't think. And like I don't recall hearing anything else different. And this is the thing. When I brought out that gun, and I'm like, I'm gonna shoot at you, whatever the hell you are. If you don't like tell me what you are. If it was kids, I would have expected to hear them like laughing or like just scattering off. You know, you would have thought that it was more of like a disorganized, like, oh shit, you got a gun kind of thing. You know what I mean? But there was nothing like that. It was like this very like almost like militaristic style, like all the lights off like at once in the same second. It was so weird.
Did everything they do, was everything, like all the movements, was it all synchronized?
Yeah, like literally. Well, no, when they were moving, not so much. They were kind of like going back and forth, forward and away from each other, like laterally, but they were kind of like not really like not really moving too fast, kind of like slowly going back and forth. It didn't seem like they were going farther away or closer to me. It seemed like they were staying at a certain distance, but moving almost like horizontally to my position.
So I would say it could have been ghosts, could have been aliens. There's also a type of fungus that grows in New England called bitter oyster mushrooms, if you've ever heard of those.
They have lights on, like they
it's a type of bioluminescent. Yeah, it's a bioluminescent fungus.
But those would move, though, right?
Color.
Yeah, but doesn't...
I wouldn't think a mushroom would be able to like move like that, though.
Yeah,
but it wouldn't be, if you said they grow in like a line, like sometimes they grow like in a line, so it would kind of be like, it could have been, I'm just saying this is one of the,
it's good to
possible explanations.
It's good to explore.
You could put it at the bottom of the list. You can put aliens and ghosts on top. I don't care. But you could say that they just kind of pulse. So it gave it that kind of like that movement, that illusion of movement, perhaps.
And then they shut off though. That's the weird
part.
Altogether.
I'm wondering if they're affected by just like the sound of the voice, like just like the echo. I don't know. Like I'm not sure. I'm not 100%. I just know that there's a type of bioluminescent mushroom that grows there. Not sure what affects the behavior or the what triggers the luminescence levels of luminescence on it. But I know that is
I don't know.
That is a thing that grows there.
Yeah, you hear,
which is pretty. It was pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a strange one, and if to witness that, just the two of you, it'd be fucking terrifying. No way out, no quick way out.
Yeah, I'd be spooked either way. Like even if it was glowing fungus, like it's still.
Oh yeah,
it's still pretty spooky.
This valley definitely. That valley has like some old school like spooky shit too. I mean, you hear about people talking about. Seeing like I've heard people talk about older people talk about seeing Indian ghosts like walking on the edges of fields and stuff. I mean, I've just been told this. I haven't had a lot of other like supernatural kind of shit that I've seen in that particular location, but it's definitely it's a very like there's a haunted history in this area for sure, Western Mass.
Yeah, a lot of history there, so a lot of chance for
New England's really good at retaining legends and stuff like that. They're pretty good at that.
A lot of supernatural horrors in that area.
They say King Philip's War in Massachusetts was like per capita, like I think it still is like considered the bloodiest like war per capita in all of like U.S. history on American soil. It's like insane. Like there was so much back and forth fighting between the settlers there and the tribes.
Yeah, that's part of the Bridgewater Triangle legend, if I'm correct.
Oh, is that where that is?
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's in Massachusetts. I don't know. Are you familiar with the Bridgewater Triangle?
Bridgewater Triangle. I know Bridgewater. I mean, I got like relatives out that way, but I never heard of this. I'll have to look into that. That's cool.
Yeah, it's. I think we did. We might have done.
We did.
Did we do?
We did. I think we've talked about
Bridgewater. Yeah. So it's like So King Philip's War is part of that legend. Like the Bridgewater Triangle. There's a couple documentaries on it. It's a crazy place. A couple spots that seem to have a high occurrence of supernatural activity.
Definitely. All right, brother. We got to keep the lines rolling, but we appreciate you calling in and telling that. That's a terrifying one. It's cool.
Oh, thank you. I love the show. You guys, you're great. You keep me entertained and just thinking all the time at work while I'm packaging up weed gummies and stuff. So
Nice.
it's that can be a boring task sometimes, but you keep it interesting.
Hey, it's the least we could do.
Hey, glad we can help.
Hey, appreciate it.
All right, have a good night.
Have a good night, guys.
Bye.
You too.
Remember that person who called about the people outside their tent and then ran away in the dark?
It's fucking
horrifying.
Yeah, terrifying.
That's the part of me that doesn't like camping because it was like there's literally just a thin sheet of like polyester or whatever, like Gore-Tex between you and whatever's outside.
And death.
Yes.
Yeah.
A terrible death.
Horrible death by Wendigos.
Possibly. Let's bring another caller on. Hello, Cosmic Channels.
Man, that sunset is gorgeous.
Grill, patio, sunset. Hard to get better than that. Unless you're browsing Carvana's inventory while you soak it all in.
Oh, burger time.
So sit back, get comfortable. Carvana's got thousands of cars under $20,000 just waiting for you.
I could stay here forever.
Carvana, where car buying meets comfort meets convenience. Download the app or visit Carvana.com today. That's not just the sound of that first sip of Morning Joe. It's the sound of someone shopping for a car on Carvana from the comfort of home.
That's a good blend.
It's time to take it easy, like answering some easy questions to get pre-qualified for a car in minutes.
Talk about starting the morning right.
Just like customizing your terms so your car fits your budget. Visit Carvana.com or download the app to experience car shopping the way it should be. Convenient, comfortable.
Hello?
Hello, you're on Cosmic Channels.
Am I on? Can you guys hear me? It's Thomas.
Hey Thomas, where are you calling from?
Holy shit, I'm on. Man, I'm so excited to be talking to you guys. I love your show. Listen to every episode.
Cheers.
Oh, man. Sorry. I'm like nerding out right now.
We're nobody, so don't worry about it.
I mean, we listen to every single episode too.
Yeah. Listen back to our own voices. A bunch of dummies.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Hey, man, I wanted to call in and tell you guys about an alien abduction story that I had.
Oh, you're in the right place.
I was hoping so. I've been wanting to call, but I've been like, chicken shit about calling you guys the whole time.
Well, you're on now, so let's hear it.
All right, so I live in a little town outside of El Paso, Texas, right?
You're on now, so let's hear it.
Oh, make sure you turn down your live stream. The volume on your live stream, you can hear it.
Yeah, I'm turning it down right now. Okay. Sorry, I had you guys playing on the Xbox and trying to call in at the same time.
Nice.
So this happened when I was younger. I want to say I was like 8 or 9. I'm not exactly sure, but maybe since you guys play video games, maybe you guys can help me out because I do remember what I was playing the night that this happened. And I want to say it was on a Super Nintendo, but it was like Saturday night, like Slam Masters. It was like a wrestling game. I used to be a huge wrestling fan, just like you guys are. You guys know what I'm talking about?
Dan remembers.
I remember that game.
Yeah.
I used to play the guy who did like the little fireball spin,
like finishers, right? They had like ridiculous finishers, right?
You could like jump outside the ring and pick up the bucket and like throw it at. So they had,
Yeah.
I
remember
that game. That was my favorite. That was probably my favorite.
I also remember. Is that what it's called? Because I've been trying to figure out what that game was called, and I could not figure it out.
Saturday Night Slam Masters. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
And I remember
I used to play the Mexican
game in my room.
Luchador guy.
Yeah. And I remember I was playing this game in my room way past my bedtime. And I heard my parents coming down the hallway, right? And I'm like, oh shit. And I turn off the TV and I go and lay in bed. And from my room, I can tell when they're in the kitchen, right? So I see the light turn on and the light glows into my room. And I hear them talking. They get some food, whatever. I'm trying to like pretend like I'm asleep, right? Because I'm not supposed to be up. And they finally turn off the light, and they go back to their room. And I'm like sitting in the dark, just like waiting. And this is like way past my bedtime when I'm like, I don't know, 8, 9, maybe 10 years old, whenever that game came out. And I'm waiting for the all clear to when I can turn it back on, right? And as I turn it back on, or no, I didn't even turn it back on, but I see like they left there's like a night light in the kitchen, right? And it kind of leaves a soft glow coming into my room. And as I'm waiting for them to leave, I see like a shadow coming down the hallway through my room, right? Like in my room. I can't see out the hallway, but I can see a shadow like if someone's coming down the hallway towards my room. And so, of course, I pretend to be asleep. And as I pretend to be asleep, I don't actually hear the heaviness of my parents' footsteps like I normally do, to know that either I got to pretend to be asleep or it's time to get up, like when I don't want to get up in the mornings. But as they come, I pretend to be asleep. And when they should have been in my room by that time, there was nobody there. And I slightly open my eyes and I can't see anything because it is dark, right? And I was just watching TV, so my eyes are still adjusting to the dark and I can't see nothing. But as I'm standing there, or as I'm laying in bed, I can see the silhouette of a figure. And it's kind of like, I don't want to say like the Predator, like where you can see his silhouette, like but you can see through him, right?
Oh, he's got the active camo on.
Yeah, kind of like camo, but it wasn't like that. It was like staticky, like yellowy static. And I can see through him, but I can see that he's standing there in front of me. And from behind him, it looks like he blobs into like two other ones, or like two other ones step out from behind him. You know, and at this time, I'm like, what the fuck is this? And I want to scream and yell out for my parents, like, whoa, like, what's going on, right? And I'm trying to scream, and I cannot make a noise. And I'm trying to scream, I'm trying to move, I'm trying to struggle, I'm trying to get up out of my bed, and it's like I'm locked in place. Everything in my body, all my muscles and everything are just frozen, and I cannot move.
Paralyzed.
And yeah, it was like I was paralyzed. And as they inch closer to my bed, I see them hover and like lean up over me. And as that happens, I can, you know how like when you're laying on bed, you know you're laying on your bed, right? Because you feel the pressure on your back from the bed. I feel that release, like if I was being lifted up off the bed.
Oh no.
And from that point forward, I if I was being levitated up off the bed, equally all pressure relieved from my body as I'm being lifted from the bed. The next thing I remember, guys, I shit you not, like I don't remember anything that happened from that point forward. But the next thing that I remember is me falling from my bed, like if my parents had picked me up and like dropped me onto my bed, right? And with that same, as soon as my bed hit the bed, as soon as my body hit the bed, I like bounced out of the bed. I don't know if you guys ever done that as a kid, when you like jump into the bed and use that same momentum to throw yourself up out of the bed.
Sure. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
As soon as that pressure, like I felt that pressure, like I bounced up off the bed, and then I ran to my parents' room, and they're like on the other side of the house, right? And so when I go over, and this is a crazy thing, because I know it was about 2 or 3 in the morning. And when this first happened, and when I go freaking out like to my parents' bedroom, and I open their door, and I look into the room to like, I'm still trying to be quiet, right? Like, because I know they'll still get mad at me if I wake them up. But like, as I peer into their door, their room is already lit up with like morning light. Like it's already like 5:30, 6 in the morning. You know what I mean? Like lights already coming into the house. Yeah, there was like 2 or 3 hours and I had no idea what to do, you know? And like from that point forward, like I just froze and I was like, oh my God, you know? And the weirdest thing is I could not explain why I wasn't able to call out during that time. Because I remember just sitting there in bed waiting like for my parents to come help me, you know? And I'm trying to scream, and the movements and the moment and the stress and everything I'm screaming out, just nothing coming out. Like I was in some sort of vacuumless void.
So you see this like predator-looking alien, kind of yellowy. You can see through it. It splits. It seems like 2 or 3 split off of it. You're paralyzed. You have missing time. You wake up when you fall back, feel like you fall on your bed. And it's now in the morning, so 3 hours are gone.
Yeah.
No, like, did you have any physical marks, like anything that seemed out of the ordinary?
Man, I didn't like check myself for marks because that wasn't something that I was looking at. Like, again, when this happened, I might have been like 8 or 9 years old whenever that game came out,
Right.
But it's something that I've always held on to. Like, what the hell happened that night?
Yeah, dude, that's wild. No nightmares that occurred after that. Nothing like that would signal like a traumatic event or anything.
No nightmares other than like I have like relived that and like in my thoughts, and I can still see it like as it's happening, especially when I go back to my parents' house and visit and stuff, and I'm in my old room, and like I'll sleep in that room sometimes when I'm staying over, and I'll be like, man, this reminds me of that time this thing happened to me,
That's so weird. How old are you now?
Now I'm about 34.
So
34, 35, I think. I forget.
This one event's lived with you your whole life.
Yeah, and this happened like 8, 9 years old.
Have you ever just been curious to like maybe do hypnotic regression or anything like that?
I've heard you guys talking a lot about it, and from what Dan says, I'm like, man, I don't know if I want to go through that whole thing and have just someone lead me through the answers that I'm looking for. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, that's fair. That's a very fair and valid point. That's couldn't have said it better than Dan himself. But I wonder if there is some sort of like meditation or something where you could, work on trying to unlock some more of those memories, because it would be, I it's not me, so how troubling those memories might be, they might be better off locked away, right? But it's one of those things where it's, I'm so intrigued. I'm like, what happened in that missing time? Like, where did you go? Can you remember? Like, those are things that I'm like, I guess I as an outsider want to know.
I mean, I've had.
It
sounds really similar to.
And that's what it felt like during the whole situation. Like if I was an outsider watching that happen to myself.
Yeah.
It sounds very similar. A couple months ago, I had a case. I haven't told. We haven't talked about it because I really felt like talking about it. But I had a case. I had a pretty wild case of sleep paralysis. Like a couple months ago. This kind of reminds me of it.
Are we calling the cops on Dan here?
You should.
What's happening?
I'm saying I was a dream of sleep paralysis. I don't know. But I literally had the like girl from The Ring like crawling up from the foot of my bed. And I remember struggling to move, and I couldn't move, and just I ended up kicking her in the face though. That's the weird thing, because like I got enough to like move my foot to like kick her in the face, and then I tried to apologize, and I couldn't get. I remember vividly. It feels like I was trying to say the word sorry, but I couldn't get it out of my mouth. Like I just mumbling it, and then when the sleep paralysis finally ended, like I yelled it. Like I yelled. It's like, sorry, like I'm sorry. It's really.
You yelled sorry to the demonic figure trying to grab you off your bed.
Sorry.
When you went to go kick her in the face? When you went to go kick her in the face?
I have experience with sleep paralysis. So I've done the thing where it's kind of like you really isolate parts of your body that you want to move. Like you kind of have to really concentrate. It's very Kill Bill. It's very like move your big toe. And you have to struggle to do something. But I managed to like get my foot up and kind of like, it was like it was kind of like, bleh, like like your foot's asleep. That's what it really was kind of like. And kind of kicked her in the face. And then she kind of, there was some sort of sentiment in her face that made me feel like I feel really bad for doing it for some reason. And I was trying to say, oh, sorry. I just really remember that. And that was just a couple months ago.
So Dan's saying that perhaps it was sleep paralysis what you experienced.
No, see, that's the thing. I have never in my life had anything close to sleep paralysis. I'm a pretty heavy sleeper, And the only thing is sometimes I have a hard time going to bed. Like it'll take me forever to like actually like shut everything off in my brain and go to bed. But nothing like sleep paralysis where I've ever like been stuck in bed and couldn't get up and didn't know why. This is the only time it's ever happened to me.
It's not something that happens like regularly to some people. Like some people only have one experience with it. I just happen to have it more often than some people, but some people have only had one time.
The difference for that is though, is you woke up and seen this. He was fake sleeping and thought it was his parents and then it was an alien. Right? You didn't actually wake up and were paralyzed.
I couldn't make out any like facial features or facial structure other than like some sort of like humanoid type shape coming closer to me as it came up, you know? And as it started lifting me off the bed, like that was the last thing I remember was trying to scream. And the next thing I knew, I was being dropped back on the bed.
Dude, that's a wild tale. Like I don't know what else to say. I don't know. It's hard to tell what it was. But the fact that you have like relived that moment all the time, especially when you're like reintroduced to that environment.
Some traumatic stress.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like I live in a little town outside of El Paso, Texas, right? And I'm like maybe a mile or two from the border from Mexico. And so it's not unusual, like when I was growing up, to have like border patrol like in our backyard, basically. Like we got some farmland and stuff, but like there used to be like helicopters and stuff and you know, dirt bikes, border patrol equipment in our yard, like all the time. Like there was this time, like they were trying to get people. I don't know. It could be the Cucuy. It could be La Llorona. I don't know. You know, because that's pretty popular around these areas. But I just wanted to tell my story, guys. I don't want to take up too much of your time.
Oh, that was great.
I just want to tell you guys I love your show.
Hey,
all your episodes, I listen to you guys constantly. And Andrew, you blew my mind the other day on the Fermi Paradox when you were telling that story about Central Park. Oh my God, that scared me so bad. That's the most scared I've ever been listening to your show.
That was good.
That's funny.
Awesome, man. Hey, we appreciate the call. Thanks for listening. Thanks for the words of support. We appreciate it.
All right, you guys keep it up. Love you guys' show. Hopefully, I get to see you guys sometime in a live event.
Hey, how far is El Paso from Austin?
From Austin, about 9 hours, maybe 10.
Well, it's a long drive, but we'll be in Austin March 4th and 5th.
Yeah, I know. I'm hoping I have the funds to go down and see you guys, but it is a drive. It's some time.
Don't exhaust funds you don't have, but if
there'll be more times. There'll be more
we'll
events
be back
in the
another
future.
time. All right, brother. Have a good night.
All right, you guys have a good night too.
Bye.
Peace.
It's a good one.
That's a good one. Like, this stays with you your whole life.
I really thought
Man, I
Zell
love that
was
game
gonna
series.
that was an awesome game. What was the guy? One guy's like Kirk Slamovich or something.
I can't remember. I
Dirk
always used to play the
Slamovich or
luchador
something?
guy. I just remembered he had like a spinny move that like he fucking.
There was a big Russian guy.
It's pretty.
I thought Zell was gonna kick you off the call halfway through your sleep paralysis story.
Cut me
Just
off.
remove you.
Yeah.
Dan's out.
Yeah, Dan's out. He's like, the rules are rules.
Broke the rule.
Play by the rules. All right, one more call for this episode of Cosmic Channels. Hello.
Hey, let me tell you something, brother.
Let me tell you something.
brother.
This is the only theoret of the year and vinyl.
Hey, it's Burmeister.
What's
So,
going on?
Burmeister, how you guys doing?
Good, man. How are you?
Doing good. Prepping for
Good.
Austin,
Good to
getting
see you
ready.
next week, huh? Yeah.
It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a good weekend for
Oh,
sure.
it's gonna be a fucking blast. I've got all my denim laid out, freshly pressed.
Oh yeah.
Get your cowboy boots polished up,
Looking
ready
forward
to
to hanging
roll.
out with you guys.
Yeah, it's gonna be great.
Maybe I can tell my cynic story
Next on the
at
agenda.
midnight. We'll see. Depends how drunk you get me. I have a story. It's actually a Wisconsin mongoose story. If you'd like to hear it, it actually happened last week.
Let's hear it.
So this wasn't me; it was a friend of a friend, is what I say on these things. And do you
Sounds
want me to
familiar.
read it in do you want me to read it in Dan's intro voice, or I can read it as that guy from Unsolved Mysteries and just really creep everybody
man,
out?
this is your time to shine. You do what's best, you think.
All right. It was a brisk winter day in Wisconsin. That's my Dan, by the way. So an officer was making his rounds to a local park in Wisconsin and saw something that didn't quite seem right. Now, this wasn't me. This happened to a friend of mine, and I caught wind of it. As he got closer, he realized that what he saw was the bodies of two individuals hunched over. And he called the Wisconsin Mongoose to come out to the scene and investigate. Emergency services, that is. Flashback to earlier in the day. This is kind of like a M. Night Shyamalan story, so there's a twist. So here's the earlier in the day part.
Spoiler.
So flashback earlier in the day, the couple in question, they spent the day with their closest family and friends celebrating the matriarch of the family's 81st birthday. Very good occasion. The family leaves, says goodbye after a long day of fun, food, and excitement. And the couple decides that after the family left, they would head to their local park where they like to frequent, and that is where they met their end. The twist of this story, the husband of 85 years of age was just diagnosed with an aggressive terminal cancer. And his wife of 81 years old, the matriarch gal, whose birthday, was unknown to most, also just diagnosed with a terminal cancer. They had very similar diagnosis. And instead of going through the pain,
giving us like a sweet Notebook ending here, or what?
Yeah. Romeo and Juliet, Notebook. Instead of going through that, sweet pain of watching, the sadness of losing each other and watching each other slowly die, and they've been married for like 75. You don't want 75 years. That'd be weird. It'll be like 5. They've been married for a long time.
Some amount of math they've been married for.
Yeah.
I can't math right now. I've had a couple of Bacardis, man. I'm pre-gaming for Austin. But anyway, so they chose to celebrate their birthday with their kids and grandkids, have a special day. They go to their favorite park and then go out on their own terms. Kind of like, I guess Romeo and Juliet didn't really go out on their own terms.
Yeah.
But it's kind of a
little
love story.
fentanyl and chase the dragon on the way out. Go with a smile on your face.
I mean, you'd think so. He was ex-military, so it was a gunshot, and they did the whole put their heads together and one shot, boom. And it happened.
It's risky when you're 70-something years old. You don't have steady hands. You might just end up taking the front of your face off, and you can survive that.
Yeah, like that guy from the zombie South Park episode who just can't seem to die. That'd be terrible. But yeah, the lady in question, that was one of my elementary school teachers, and she was one of my 3rd grade teachers. And yeah, so her family wrote a whole obituary for them, and because obviously everyone was going to find out what was going to happen, what happened, and that was them. And they did this whole eclectic spin on it, like, hey man, they loved each other, they didn't want to fuck around with cancer, and there you go. So it was kind of a cool mongoose story. I mean, it wasn't really a mongoose story, but I mean, it was a cool little twist. But it actually happened about a week ago to my 3rd grade teacher. So R.I.P.
R.I.P.
Yeah. I mean, shitty,
looking
but
forward
I mean,
to slugging some drinks with you guys in a couple days here.
Yeah, Burmeister, thanks for the call. We'll see you this weekend.
Yeah, see you in Austin, Texas.
Hopefully, we got a good turnout here. It's gonna be a time. Gonna be a good time.
If Russia doesn't invade Texas, we'll be all right. Because I've been sent to send the message. God bless Texas.
All right, man. Appreciate the call.
All right, later, guys.
We'll see you soon.
Yeah.
Bye.
Later.
We're fine there. We have diplomatic immunity.
Diplomatic immunity.
Yeah, we arranged our coming to Texas with the governor. What's his name?
Abbott.
Cruz, we told him to give us special treatment.
Senator.
We asked for.
We said we'd stop saying he's the Zodiac killer for diplomatic immunity. We'd get off the trail.
He's not there right now anyways. It's cold. Didn't he leave last time Texas had a cold snap?
Yeah.
Didn't he run away to Mexico or something?
Didn't he run away and pretend he was did a coronavirus concert, but he was in...
No, he went to Cancun because his daughters really wanted to go, or they had a trip. He threw his daughters into the bus. There was a big...
It's my daughter's fault. I didn't want to go.
My daughters wanted to go.
I knew it was going to be against the rules, and I knew the public would get mad at me, but my daughters really wanted to go, so I should have went.
You are a piece of shit.
And they left their dog at home, too, I believe.
Really? I'm sure they have housekeepers, some to take care of their dog, but... He's a fucking senator, I'm sure.
Yeah. Anyways,
I can't wait. Texas, I'm not
we'll be in Austin, Texas, March 4th and 5th. If you don't know, now you know. You can find all the information on the Facebook page where we're going to be, what we're going to be doing. If you're in the area, we'd love to see you. That's it for this episode of Cosmic Channels. Next recording will be March 13th. Same time, same cosmic place. Cosmic Channels is brought to you by Big Theory Productions. The Cosmic Channels are now closed.
That's not just the sound of that first sip of Morning Joe. It's the sound of someone shopping for a car on Carvana from the comfort of home.
That's a good blend.
It's time to take it easy, like answering some easy questions to get pre-qualified for a car in minutes.
Talk about starting the morning right.
Just like customizing your terms so your car fits your budget. Visit Carvana.com or download the app to experience car shopping the way it should be. Convenient, comfortable. That's not just the sound of that first sip of Morning Joe. It's the sound of someone shopping for a car on Carvana from the comfort of home.
That's a good blend.
It's time to take it easy, like answering some easy questions to get pre-qualified for a car in minutes.
Talk about starting the morning right.
Just like customizing your terms so your car fits your budget. Visit Carvana.com or download the app to experience car shopping the way it should be. Convenient, comfortable.